Welcome to Perfect Vocals Academy, a channel that puts out cutting-edge audio engineering content. If you would like to learn more about audio engineering, head over to the description and sign up for the Vocal Mixing Masterclass. Also, click the subscribe button. Let's jump into this next video. Hey guys, this next video I'm just going to talk to you about mastering. So what is mastering? A lot of people think it's just making it loud. It's making it sound clean. Yeah, that's pretty much it, but it goes way more in depth than that. So I think the biggest misconception with mastering is EQ balance. EQ balance is the #1 way to master a good song, to have a good result with your mastering. Having a good EQ balance is going to give you that loudness, not a limiter crushing it and squashing it and getting 10 dB of gain reduction on your master. That is not the way that you're going to achieve a good master. A good master is being able to get a good balance going on with your mix, with EQing the mix, with compressing or multiband compressing the mix, dynamic EQ, whatever you have to do to get that mix to be balanced in the low end, balanced in the low mids, balanced in the high mids, balanced in the highs. All that needs to be all those things need to be getting along. If those things are getting along, then that is just going to create so much room for there to be loudness. So our ears are going to know the sound of loudness by how it's shaped. So if you have a master or a mix that's got the mid scooped on it and the low end is bumped up really heavy, you're never going to have a loud master with that. So sometimes we get hung up in the studio, and especially if those of you are mixing in untreated rooms. If you're mixing in an untreated room, then your low end is probably super heavy and your mids are all out of whack, and then you're trying to have this like really bass heavy mix, and then you go to master it and that low end is eating up all your headroom. Your mid range is not enough or not balanced or controlled in a right way to where you can have it there. So maybe you cut the mids, and so at the end of the day, you're not going to have any perceived loudness with that. You're going to have a very quiet master. So if you mix the low end right, you don't need a ton of it. So low end, and honestly, low end lives in different areas too. Like say a kick drum, if you add some 400 hertz on the master, you're also going to be helping the low end in the kick drum because of different harmonics that exist. So the important thing here is what I'm trying to say is mastering is all about a nice balanced mix or nice balanced master. You want to start with the mix being great, for sure. But there is a lot of power in mastering to tighten things up. Things like dynamic EQ. Say the low mids are all out of whack. The guitars are, muddy and the vocal has some mud. You can use a dynamic EQ, even with mid-side processing as well. Say you can just compress the low mids in the center of the image. Or say you can just compress the low mids in the sides of the image. So let's say guitars. You can tighten those guitars up, or you can tighten that muddy vocal up. That's gonna help you get that flat sound that you need to have a really good master. As far as loudness, what people shoot for, LUFs and all that stuff, I normally shoot for around -8 or -9, but if it's a more dynamic type of thing, I'll even go as low as -11, -12, sometimes even -13, which is on the quieter end of things. And with dance music and it's super punchy, loud stuff, I can even get up to -6, -7 LUFs. But the only way to get that loud, because -6 is very, extremely loud, the only way to get there is with a very good balanced master. So things like a multiband compressor will get you there. It'll help you balance those frequencies, those resonance frequencies that are causing issues. A tool like Soothe is like an AI resonance suppressor. That's going to help you balance your mix and get you where you need to be. So, and then just good old-fashioned EQ. I like to use like an analog EQ or a vintage EQ. The vintage EQ inside of Ozone is very nice. Sounds very good. And it really lets me shape it to where I can get a great balance. So lots of cool tools in that one. Other than that, that's all there really is to mastering. I mean, yes, you're going to have, you know, exciters and saturation and compressors and EQ and multiband compression and dynamic EQ and all that stuff. Those are all tools just to get the same job done. The same job, and it will always be the job, is a great balance. And that is why mastering is always talked about this dark art, or like you have to be like on this high pedestal to be able to master audio at a high level. I don't really believe that. I just believe that it's all about how good your ears are and how good you are with using these tools to accommodate what your ears are hearing. When I approach a master, I'm sitting there like listening, like, okay, what's wrong with this? What did they miss? What did they miss in the mixing? Oh, the low mids. It's usually the low mids. The low mids are out of whack. The vocal isn't cutting through right, or the vocal is too harsh. Like things like that, I will start there and then use my tools to figure out how to balance it all out. The cool thing about mastering is it is kind of like a balancing act in a lot of ways. You know, say like you got a really harsh mix, sometimes just a shelf up in the super highs can just get rid of that harshness, because the highs are right next to the high mids. So if we boost up the highs, now the high mids are less harsh to us or to our ears. So for all of you that's trying to master music, just keep that in mind. Don't think too hard about mastering. Just use your tools and use your ears. And as cliche as that sounds, that's the truth, and that's how this job works. So, all right, guys, that's it. If you have any questions about mastering or anything that maybe I didn't cover, put a comment. I will respond to your comments. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check out my vocal mixing masterclass. If you want some coaching, I offer coaching. Look in the description. You'll find links to both those. Sign up for my mini course. It's free, and you just got to give me your email, and I'll give you a sample of the vocal mixing masterclass if you're thinking about it. And yeah, so I will see you guys next week, and feel free to share this video with any of your friends.